What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. My apologies. I'm so bad at doing these live streams off a laptop. I always seem to be putting it one day in advance just because I only have like one screen. So I'm like juggling so many things and rushing to get to it. Luckily, we've only got 1.5 more days in Zurich, and then I'll be able to make videos from my base back in Canada. Now, we've got a lot to talk about, guys. A lot. Now, this is not a clickbaity title, and I'm not saying that the zkSync snapshot has been definitively taken, but for the first time, there are some things that I want us to consider and not just sort of blindly go and be like a bull in a china shop going ham. So, with that being said, nothing I say here is financial advice. I hope you guys are having a great night or great afternoon wherever you are. It's about to be midnight here in Zurich. Remember, do your own research. Don't just trust me. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, we do have the private group, sort of really cool community where we sort of work together to tackle some of these concepts and farm a lot of these protocols together. Now, this got posted earlier today, and this thread, I don't know if it's a thread, but this tweet was actually considered a copy pasta from something that came out, I believe it was from China, as a sort of leak. Now, one of the things I always tell you guys to do is don't just block out information, take it in, and ask yourself, does this make sense? Like, what's the credibility like on this, etc. And this person basically said here some crazy claims around snapshots. So I'm going to talk about exactly sort of what I think this means and also like what I think we should do going forward. I'm really proud of first thing I want to say to you guys is I'm really proud I'm really proud of a lot of you who've really stepped up and really taken farming layer 0 and zkSync very seriously. Instead of sort of asking the penultimate or the typical, oh my God, is it too late question, snapshot. Is it really worth it? Like, can I even make anything? People will just forget it, grind it hard, and hopefully there'll be some good news for those of you who have. But also, we take information and we've got to be agile. That's so important. So, this information, please, like I said, not definitive. I'm going to give you my opinion and maybe we'll talk about it. So I'm not doing an AMA. I'm going to have this sort of open up. We'll sort of chat. So feel free. Unlike other videos, I'm going to make this go a little longer and then I'm going to go to bed. So what was posted earlier today was there was an insider leak. Basically, in a similar vein to wormhole, snapshots were taken kind of early on. So in December, late January. Now, apparently, those snapshots are not being used for unspecified reasons. If this is true, I would venture to say they probably noticed a ton more volume coming onto the zkSync protocol. In fact, I am an active member of their Discord community. And one of the things that I would see was they had to change some of the policies around how much they allow people to bridge, the minimum transaction, and all that. And part of this was because they started to see a lot more people engage with their platform. So they're not stupid people. They're not Starknet, right? Like Starknet, where they, for example, take a snapshot way before and just sort of say that they're sort of doing everything. They didn't do anything to support people. In fact, they were like, oh, well, even though there's a ton of information saying that we've gotten like 5 times more users now, we're just going to give them the middle finger. zkSync, if this is true, has realized, hey, we've got a ton more influx of users. We don't want to throw them away. We want to respect the community, right? We saw like the kind of outset of what happened with Starknet. Yes, we have snapshots, and maybe we're not going to use this. I can give you this context because I used to lead a sales team in business. So sort of a good example for you guys, some context, is when you have a sales team, they typically earn a base salary and a commission. If, however, you have a market event that would change something, you obviously don't want to be like, sorry, guys, we said we were going to do this, and that's just what it is. Those are what I would say leaders who get their teams not motivated do. Those who really want their team to really love and sort of, work with their blood, sweat, and tears for them, it's not like they're just giving away a charity, but they're also fair. So I think what they realized is, to sort of complete the sales analogy, if you are like in sales management, sometimes you will adjust their quotas depending on market conditions. Like if for example things got way tougher for something that was out of their control, great. In this case, they had a metric, they had a snapshot. They said, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and now we are at a stage of the cycle where we've got so much more users, it wouldn't be right for us to just take this snapshot and do it. So let's take another snapshot in February, and potentially, based on what number 2 is saying, let's see if the number of users expands significantly. And that'll let us know if we should take another snapshot. This is why, for example, I've seen all these bullshit posts about zkSync for months. This is the first one where I put myself in the shoes and was like, this actually makes a lot of sense, because if I'm sitting there and I'm working for zkSync, I would make these same decisions. I sort of hope that makes sense. So based on this, my expectation from this is, if this is true, right? Because it's not confirmed until zkSync puts a stamp on this, right? Is whatever snapshot they take, for now, you can have the assumption that the snapshot was taken in sort of the second, third, fourth week of February, and that is probably going to be the final snapshot unless something significant changes in the market, like maybe zkSync volume just like 5x's or 10x's and stuff like that. Now, here, something I know people have asked a question, but for example, Gitcoin or proof of humanity will not be mandatory, but could very likely act as a multiplier. This is also in line with a lot of the things we've been talking about because of the way the zkSync guilds is set up. So zkSync, level 1 guild, you need 15 points, level 2 and some transactions. Level 2 guild, you need 20 points, and you also need to have got the extra criteria. And then finally the omnibus, right? So that was like the kind of one beyond it. But I can see why they would say that it's not mandatory. Sort of the reason for that is you could be active on zkSync and not even know to get Gitcoin, because there's not a requirement ever outside of the guilds. And that would be probably a really bad deterrent. So once again, when I think about, does this sort of make sense? This is why. And by the way, Degen Pilot, a broken clock can be right twice a day. Saying that I'm going to be honest, and sorry, dude, don't take this the wrong way. You can go and tell me something, and you cannot, if you can't provide any facts, don't expect people to just sort of take your word for it. You can feel whatever way you want to feel, but it's one thing if you provided this rationale versus if you had just said, hey, like, well, the snapshot's taken, because a lot of people are saying the same nonsense for everything else. Even now, I'm not saying it's confirmed, but this is why I want to make that video, because I was very clear with you guys. From everything I've seen so far, there's no indication of a snapshot. This is the first time I've seen something with the actual rationale that lines up completely with what I would expect. That's why. It's not about, oh my God, like, hey, dude, like, if you want to tell me, Degen, that Bitcoin is $200,000 one day, great, maybe. And then one day when it's $200,000, I told you so. Why did you think that it was $200,000 in February 29th? Why would you think that? By the way, guys, we're not going to talk about anything not zkSync related till the end, so please don't ask questions on that yet. Okay, I want to make sure that you guys are chatting, but make it about zkSync. Airdrop akin to Arbitrum style system is no doubt coming. We actually saw one of the devs ask if they thought that it would be good to have a checklist for criteria, so it wasn't such so it wasn't just a, hey, you don't have enough ETH on zkSync, or, oh, you didn't do this much transaction volume. So likely there will be a threshold of, okay, you need a X amount of points. As a reminder for those who don't remember what the Arbitrum simulation is, we'll just open it up for zkSync here. Basically, you need at least 3 points minimum, and it was like deposited 10K in ETH, and this is on the native bridge, 50K in ETH, 250K in ETH, sort of transaction volume, transactions over time, number of transactions, and stuff like that. So also transaction over distinct months. So that's what the Arbitrum simulation looks like. So once again, this completely lines up. This was interesting. I don't know what to think about this. It was sort of very interesting because they're saying they're going to penalize cyber behavior. I think, one of the things that's going to come out of this, of course, is it's never perfect. So, when Pixel did their airdrop, they sort of were banning bots and stuff. And I know they accidentally banned a few people who weren't bots. And, they did a process where like you had like 2 weeks to dispute and go over it and fix it. What I don't want to see happening is somebody who has like one wallet who potentially gets penalized for doing this. And that's kind of why I think I hope if you have Gitcoin, that it would sort of not allow the sort of penalizing of the cyber behavior. Okay. Uh, Once again, this whole thing about like two companies sort of trying to figure out and filter out cyber behavior, that makes a lot of sense. Big announcement coming between mid-March to April. That honestly, that could be BS. We have no idea, right? So this was interesting. Obviously we'll take it with a grain of salt, but we can adapt our strategy for that. Ajin Moto says, not liking snapshot date forecaster flexes. Yeah, exactly. Like guys, and by the way, DJ Pilot, like I appreciate you. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't mean to come off the wrong way to you, dude. But there's a way to communicate stuff. I could tell you guys tomorrow the layer 0 airdrop snapshot has been taken. I have zero basis for doing that besides me feeling it. I feel this way. What I want always is facts. I don't care about feelings. We're talking about money. And by the way, guys, also, one last thing I want to say, DJ Pilot, if we're going back to what you said, based on this, the snapshot would have been taken any time in the last 3 weeks. So when I was making videos for the last month and a half, I mean, I made videos on zkSync even prior to that, but the last month and a half, sort of pushing people, it was sort of how to put this. It even then the snapshot, like whatever was taken was redone, and based on this, just if this is true, they're also open to doing it again. Yeah, there are 5 million wallets on zkSync right now, but if you look at if you've done the filtering with Dune and you look at like how many people use the native bridge, you cut off like over half of them, right? Same with the paymaster feature and stuff like that. So this is where it'll be critical for them to sort of figure out, okay, how are you rewarding your points? So for example, if you did some garbage activity, you don't really get much. And this is sort of where the bonuses is good. So it'd be interesting. So glad I don't have to do the Gitcoin garbage. Space vibes, I would still do it. Like, dude, just do it. Like, I think it's worthwhile. I don't know if they're doing a snapshot of when the Gitcoin thing was done, or if you just have it when the thing gets released. Who knows? And by the way, guys, just so you know, Lens actually went live, I think, in the last like day and a half. So if you want to go and like mint your Lens, which is like a kind of social media handle of sorts, it'll cost you like 8 Matic or 10 USD, and you get like 3 Gitcoin passport points or whatever. So I'm sitting at 37 Gitcoin passport points right now. But, there's something to sort of come up. Peto says, love what you do. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Hey, we got Eder Cope in here. How's it going, dude? How to check if you're eligible? We don't know yet. I'm going to go through some of the trackers that will kind of give us some insight, because I also want to talk about what we do going forward. I'm nothing if not somebody who has a plan at all times. I think it's very important. And like I said, yes, we got some information that can pivot a bit what we do. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop farming. It's just being more selective and being a little more critical on the things we do. Okay. So I'll go through that. Stonks Finance says, pretty sure Arbitrum had 4 million wallets and 75% were disqualified. Yeah, and the reason they were disqualified was because you needed a minimum of 3 different points. So like, for example, if you didn't spread out your transactions, or you didn't have enough volume, or you didn't have bridge enough, and they had the criteria somewhat high, 3 was important. The problem is, like, obviously, people realize this. A lot of farmers are using the Arbitrum simulation now to be like, hey, whatever, right? Raindrop Hull, that's not true. So you can have 2K volume. How many transactions did you do? How many sort of time period did you do this over, right? Don't like, my thing, by the way, also is, even if you do the checker, let me tell you something. even if you think you don't qualify, like you read the criteria and you're like, I don't qualify, just do it. Sometimes you qualify anyways. Like with alt layer, based on what I read, I didn't qualify. Right, staked TIA, I didn't have it in one. Like I had it in one wallet, but one other wallet I didn't. Right, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it anyways. And then it went through, and I'm like, oh wow, they made a mistake. And then after I found out that milk TIA accounted for it, so I always tell people, I don't care what the eligibility checker says. Like the pre one, just go and claim it when you can. What do you got to lose, right? If you're not eligible, you can't even pay gas. They'll just be like, nah, sorry, you know. However, most of my wallets weren't topped up. That's fine. So unlike Starknet, like I think, like I said, if we are to believe what was said here, um, you know, my thing with this whole thing here with like your amount sitting on chain should not really matter that much. It should sort of be a bonus criteria versus something else. So like you can make up for it. It's not like so like if you all you want is a passing grade, and a passing grade, we don't know what that looks like. If it's like Arbitrum, it's 3 out of 15, right? So that's like 20%. 3 out of 15 is 20%. So if you get 20%, whichever way you do it, that should be good enough. Obviously, it's a bigger size. The more gates you have, the bigger size of an airdrop you would get. All this is still speculation. Okay, so lens is important. I wouldn't be surprised if zkSync does something like 1K volume, 20 transactions, Gitcoin 20 or greater. Yeah, I don't think Gitcoin 20 or greater could be a mandatory criteria, and I agree with them for one reason. Only because you can be very active on the protocol and not want to do Gitcoin Passport. Like Gitcoin Passport is not a sort of fully accepted thing, right? It's like you having an EVM wallet, like that is more accepted, right? In the space. Even still, like not everyone has MetaMask. Some people use or Rabi Wallet, they use Trust Wallet and other things. They don't want to sort of cut people off who didn't use something that wasn't a feature, right? And this is where this is why I agree with Gitcoin sort of being a bonus, Paymaster being a bonus. And these things could actually be significant bonuses, don't get me wrong, but they're going to be that. They're not just going to be, oh, whatever, you know? Nick says, yo, how's it going? Block Throat is minting my lens as we speak. Nice, nice. And by the way, what I will say here for minting the lens, because it was so like hard to get it before it was locked up. Now that we can do that, just focus on getting your, when it's cheap, get your Gitcoin kind of points up, because it's going to come in handy in the future. We know this is true. Okay, so just get it good. And one thing I will say is your stamps expire after a certain time period. It's a good thing it doesn't cost gas to sort of claim the stamps within the protocol. That's only when you go on chain. But I go to Optimism, or no, I went to Linea, because Linea is cheaper. It's like $5, and I also got the transaction right with the LXP and stuff. Hopefully, I'm not that late. No, you're not. Also, if you sort of want to catch up, just like 2x speed it. Assume every project will have their own criteria, and that's exactly right. So I agree with you, MLE. I don't think they're going to follow it to the letter. I think they're likely going to have a sort of pick list, and each thing is going to be worth something different. But like I said, I don't work for zkSync, no idea. But what I see in here is sort of kind of a little more clear and a little more believable, you know? Space vibes. I would love to know. I would love to know what were you getting frustrated with specifically? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a very important thing, because maybe I can help provide some clarity. You know, because some of the stuff is obviously not worth your time, but some stuff should be like a little like, click and go, right? Also, space vibes. How many points do you have right now on your passport? Offended. We all have opinions. I've been farming for some time now. Airdrops. Yeah, so airdrops have max pain, but there's two different types of max pain, right? There's a max pain where like you missed a snapshot, and there's a max pain where you just didn't do it and you got screwed, right? Now, Starknet, I was not upset with anyone but myself. I was frustrated because I let people tell me the snapshot was taken back last summer, so I stopped farming it. So I did 2 months, left the money on chain, whatever, and I didn't hit that one gate of having 3 months. Turns out the people who were saying to stop farming it kept farming it, even though they said the snapshot was taken. What am I going to blame them? That would make me a punk. So I just said, hey, that's on me. I should have just went with my gut and just I could have literally done the minimal sort of thing that I'm going to recommend to you guys, and I would have been fine. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say, like, for what you shared, like, it's not like, because the thing is, like, right, like, none of us know definitively what's going on besides zkSync, right, or whatever legit leaks are happening. But part of this is also like, what's the evidence, what's the proof, right? Like like why, like every single person is coming up here saying a random different thing. I sort of always look at facts. I need context, and I need sort of information, and sort of seeing that is way more impactful. Like, another example I'll give you, somebody shared this, is somebody just sort of sharing a video of, like, the docs on GitHub on like sort of the snapshot and all this stuff, right? So, like, they're posting this stuff, and they're like, oh, 98% snapshot taken on last week of this month. But keep and by the way, this part's correct. Keep farming till official zkSync announcement on Twitter. We just got to be smarter with it, you know. I think that's very, very important. I saw some people on Twitter saying zkSync will have 60 points. Yeah, I don't know about 60 points, but they have definitely been talking about. Here's what will happen. They have definitely been talking about having it so just it's a pick list, and each of those items gets you extra points. So I don't know about 60, but yes. I have only been in the airdrop business since beginning of year, 2K volume, 100. No, it's not bad. Beginning of year, so you got Jan, Feb, you got 2 months. Okay, so that kind of not as great, but hey, that's fine. 100 transactions is fantastic. You got the Omni. Yeah, that should get you something. I would be surprised if it doesn't. Getting fed up with Solana airdrop farming. No, why would you get fed up with that one? Solana has had the best airdrops this season, right? Jito, Wen, Jupe. And Jupe's gonna have another airdrop. They have a couple lined up. Parcel's gonna have a massive airdrop, in my opinion. Somebody asked. I don't know if it's gonna be 5 figures. I think that, like, sort of given like how unique that project is with the real estate perpetuals, it'll probably end up being 4 figures depending on how many points you have. Uh, Still pretty good, right? Like, for sort of providing liquidity or whatever. But we don't know what we don't know. So for Pato, what I would say for your Solana airdrop farm is just keep doing it when you are, like, remember, you can build in what you do in your airdrop farm. So whenever I'm swapping anything, whenever I want to buy something that's like Solana related, I just use Jupiter. I use the limit swap. I'm trying to just build up volume there, not fake volume, right? Actual volume doing that. Buying. I also believe, and this is speculation, that I think the GLP token, the GLP holders will likely get some sort of bonus in their airdrop because it's kind of a very unique part of the ecosystem. But don't take my word for it. We don't know. For Gitcoin, you have to mint the stamps. So you don't, because they can check, but you can bring the stamps online and do what's called an attestation. And I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how that would work for like the for some protocols, because, like, for example, with Guild, I just connected and it saw my point, right? I don't know how it works. So I'm like, I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I just did that, But I think you should be fine regardless. My Gitcoin is over 30. I have all the verified all rolls. Nice. The only thing I'm missing for zkSync is those stupid getting more involved rolls. I keep clicking the button and it will not let me. It's like always like, oh yeah, too many people are interested and I can't get in. When Snapshot is taken, well, if we are to believe what was said here, it was taken earlier this year, like the end of December, early Jan or late Jan, but then they sort of made a new snapshot between February 9th and February 28th, and likely will be final. We don't know, obviously, but it lines up with a lot of what we think. 21% fees to borrow USDT on Camino. Why are you borrowing USDT? I guess maybe that's the question I should ask. What you should be doing is whatever you're borrowing, make sure. So, like, what you could do, if, like, here's an example, and I screwed this up yesterday. Okay, so if you are on Camino Finance and you deposit like your B Solana, right? So if you staked it on Soul Blaze using Stake City Validator, right? And you got some APR, you staked some, native Soul, you staked, JLP if there was some allocation. I believe it's full right now. You stake some USDC, then you can borrow some USDC and you buy something that you swap that for something that you are long on. So it's kind of like leverage. And then you can earn from that sell it back, and you earn on all accounts because we're in a bull market, right? That's sort of what a lot of people do to farm extra points versus just sort of, borrowing USDT and sort of sitting there doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you're making it make you value too. The Gitcoin stuff. Yeah. So I get the Gitcoin stuff, but you're saying it wasn't worth the frustration. What exactly were you frustrated in it? Okay. How am I today? I'm doing fantastic. How are you? You racked up 7 points. Did you try Civic? Like the Civic part is like something that you should definitely consider doing. Lens is easy. I'm sure you got social media, right? Like if you have a Discord account, if you got Twitter, all of these things will get you points. I have a hard time understanding how it's only 7. Maybe you can give more details. They're like, based on the comments here, it's likely the second snapshot. We don't know, and also this may not be final because things could change. So this is why we don't ever stop. We continue until we get tapped on the shoulder and we're like, we're done, right? Until the coach is like, yo, you're done. We're gonna keep going. Okay. I'm gonna talk about what we need to do. zkSync Lite veteran. Nice. Yeah. So I got into zkSync Lite back in the day, but I think I got into it around the same period of time that zkSync Era launched. I think it was like in that same like week or two. Maybe I did it a week or two before. I don't remember, but I don't know if I had it before zkSync Era launched. But that'd be interesting if they did that way. Yeah, and that's right. If Snapshot was taken, they may take another snapshot. So don't stop, right? Like it's just like if you screwed up on a race, you keep going until you see the race is over because you never know. People could sort of screw up and stuff too. Yesterday I was asking you, but you went offline. I was asking about Mantis testnet. I'm on 4,000, whatever. Honestly, I don't know the answer. I saw your comment. I had a couple people message me about the same thing as well. I would honestly go in their Discord and ask them like how the rankings work, because the most common thing I heard was it might have been based on a specific time period of when that snapshot of your XP was taken versus sort of like just saying, hey, like this is it, right? That's probably the only thing that makes sense. Parcel, points market on Whale. Yeah. So Parcel is fantastic. I don't touch Whale yet because Whale, until points are tradable, like you end up locking up liquidity for no reason, right? Whether you're buying or selling, like for your, like, I guess you're probably better off sort of selling on Whale, but when you sell on Whale as well, because people are putting up dollars, you've also got to put up dollars, right? Because whenever snapshots taken, it's always in the benefit of the seller because it's still on your account, right? Is it worth it to farm Parcel now? I believe so. I would say in a day or two, probably not as good. Like every day we get closer to like the snapshot being taken, I'll say is no, right? Because remember, you have to lock up liquidity for 30 days. I have a video on this on this Jack. I recommend that you watch it. It was from 2 days ago. I cover sort of my thesis there, and like I put in some more liquidity 2 days ago just because of that. Like I said, we don't know when the snapshot's going to be taken. They're expecting to do some sort of airdrop token generation event in April. Not doing selfies or giving away my identity, so very different. Okay, sure. So that's Civic. And by the way, it's all encrypted, right? Like it doesn't go on here. How about Lens? How about ENS domain? ENS domain, I believe, is 3 points. Lens is 3. That's 6 by itself. Your Discord account's like 1 or 2. Twitter, Coinbase, like there's a lot of things in there that don't require you to show your face. So if that's the only thing, you can still do it. But if you're very picky, you're like, well, I don't want to spend any money. I don't want to do any of these things. Well, like something's got to give too, right? But yeah, so that top 3% is zkSync. Nice. So DR, darkness. How long did it take you to get there? By the way, I'm still doing zkSync while my one wall is top 5K, not creating a new one. So I guess my point to new people. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yo, Umar, how's it going, dude? Raindrop, check your Milky Way rank. Yeah, so I think they were giving way too many points to people. I had the same comment to somebody earlier. Milky Way, like I know somebody I know is getting like massive amount of points. I'm like, there's zero chance based on I think it was like 35 MTR that they were getting like the amount of points they were getting. So not surprised, that makes sense. if I was to start the airdrop hustle today, here's what I would tell you to do. And I'm going to go over this in a second. Actually, I'll talk about it right now. Given what we know, at a minimum, do one zkSync transaction a month. Okay. If you can do a few more, do it. Like keep the cost low. That's what I would do. Number one. Number two, same thing. You're doing this with Layer 0, Scroll, Linea, Hyperlane, I think it's Polyhedra, right? Do all those, do a minimum of one transaction in all of those every single month. Polygon, the EVM, that weird chain, I'm not really sure what to expect there, but I would focus on zkSync, Layer 0, Scroll, Linea, Chroma. Try to get minimum one transaction per month. And then for the other ones, like obviously like Layer 0 also, we're getting close to the wire. And by the way, today I'm sitting here, it's like 12:20 a.m., February 29th. If you haven't gotten your monthly transactions on any of these platforms, you have one day to do it today. Make sure you get that thing, because you'll go from 0 months to 1 to 2 in 2 days. So take advantage of that. That's massive, absolutely massive. But I would not discount zkSync, and I would not discount Layer 0 until we get told. You just got to sort of contain your costs, right? Do like one transaction a week, maybe one transaction a month. I'd say one transaction a week if you don't have anything for zkSync or Layer 0. I would say one transaction a month if you've already, if you're okay, if you're like top 30%. Okay. Getting to 15 points will take you 30 minutes max. Are you Adrian? I'm going to assume you're referring to gitcoin. Yeah, I think so too. Now my gitcoin score is over 20, but if Snapshot were a token, yeah. So like I said, Shazeb, I'm not a spokesperson for zkSync, but it would stand to reason that they would not make this a mandatory criteria, but more of a bonus. You asked the question. Thoughts on farming Polygon zk EVM? It's something. It's low on my priority list for now. Get one transaction in a month, because remember that is your rate limiting step, right? They don't care when you do your volume if you do it all in 1 month or over a period of time. Just do one transaction, bridge some tokens over, do a swap. Good. All right, let me focus something else for the month, right? That's what I would do for now. Am I aware of this Vinod chain airdrop? No, not really. I'll be honest. I'm not as interested in testnets right now. I got some big stuff to sort of focus on. I are nobody. How's it going? BG, what's up? Hope they take 1st of March. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like I said, we gotta focus on what we can control. So be it if they take it before then, because likely this will not be a deterrent. Like obviously you'll have to make up for it elsewhere. So I really hope that you guys took the signal in February, if this whole thing is to be believed, and you've built up sort of all the other aspects that you could do. I've seen a lot of people that went from last place to top 5, top 3%, just going absolutely ham this month. Dojo Swap's got the best pools and farms on Cosmos. Yeah, it's not bad. The launchpad's pretty decent. I like it. Wormhole don't pull Starknet. Yeah, I don't think so. I hope not either. And Starknet's such a joke. And I hope Wormhole does sort of. They had this thing with like AMD that they posted, as well as with Pyth. So I'm interested to see what they do here. This cycle belongs to zkSync. Too many users that has already sent ETH fees to Sky, and in my opinion, we are not even farmed. Yeah, 100%. Like Arbitrum was the big one last time. I think zkSync and Layer 0 are the big ones today. I hope the snapshot's taken today. Yeah, we don't know. It would be interesting to find out. Also, I think it's important that you continue to monitor their Discord, because if there's some truth to this, we'll sort of start hearing this, because people will start bringing this up to their moderators and everything continuously, because this was leaked somewhere else. And we'll sort of go through that as well. But remember, we do what we can, and we're going to keep going. But just now that this is a more realistic sort of warning sign, we will shift down a couple gears. We're no longer going straight super hard. What we're going to do now is just do fewer transactions on zkSync until we get told something. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 4 per month, whatever you choose. And I think that is probably the right strategy. Keep your costs low, and keep going until you're told otherwise. Focus on the other stuff, but make sure you do this. And Ali says, started airdrop last year, fed up after a few weeks and just run away. Now I'm back. Yeah, well, thing is, unfortunately, every time Ethereum goes up in price, you just see a ton of the GWEI like skyrocket, and it inevitably translates to other chains. It's gonna happen. Like Ethereum will be like $200 to transact, and then Optimism will be like $8. You know, nothing we can do. This is why it's super important. Like specific time zones, you'll notice our time spots. If you go to etherscan.gas, etherscan. Let me just see if I can find it here. There's a sort of heat map. Let me just look. Just give me 1 second. Because what you want to do is you want to like sort of see the gas tracker on Etherscan, and you want to see like how things are going, right? So over here, you see here, right now it would cost you $62 to swap on Ethereum. That's absurd. But you also want to sort of map out and go, okay, well, when can I transact on chain, right? Like you want it to be like very light. Like I think it was 19 like a few days ago or something, right? What was it like? Somewhere the last couple of days, I know I saw 19 GWEI somewhere. So just monitor this and look for a time when it's sort of cheap, because otherwise you're going to be paying massive fees, right? NFT like bridging is not as bad, but man, swapping is absolutely like dog shit. Where do you check your reg? On zkSync? Okay, so I put links to everything in the description, but basically you can go to ZK Flow. It tells you sort of an idea. This is the Arbitrum kind of simulation. It shows you this. Look, I got like 20K volume here, 20K here, 20K here, all of these protocols. You can also go to Earn3 app, and for zkSync, I'm actually now it's funny, I showed this to you guys like a few weeks ago, and back then I was sitting around like 80%. Now I'm 91, which is pretty sweet. So it shows you here like kind of what I've done. So it's not bad. Remember, all these things are different. They measure slightly differently. You're looking for trends, right? Like it's not gonna tell you that you're like number one somewhere and then last somewhere else. So that's one. Is Earn3. Another one is sort of NFT Copilot. You see here I'm top 1%. 51K. Things I could improve on is number of months, obviously, and volume, but still not bad. And then finally, you can go on Wenzer as well, and you can see as well, like here's some of the things I can do better. This is a lot similar to the ZK flow, but I can go to no simulation and it tells me like some of the other like nuances, right? Like here's all the things I've done and things I can sort of do differently. One thing I will highlight to you, if you haven't done already, the Paymaster sort of initiative is very important. For those of you who've not seen it, let me just demonstrate what that looks like. So when you go here, you've done this, you want to make sure you go to the top, and you see here, like there's a little gas icon. You click on this, and you literally pick anything but ETH, and it'll pay gas there. So I pick the whole token. I can pick the Meow token if I want to, whatever. And by the way, just so you guys know, I bought these like BS tokens just because each token is a contract. So this got me more contracts. So then if I was to make a swap of 0.1 ETH to this, and then make the swap, this gas fee would be paid in Meow token. And that would trigger a Paymaster transaction, get me on the scoreboard. Okay. They're taking a snapshot in December. Why would there be so many campaigns? Yes, that's exactly why they probably kind of moved it forward, right? This is why they discarded it. So if we have to believe what they said, they took the snapshot, but they discarded it. So the current snapshot that they're looking at is somewhere between February 8th and 28th, which now that I think about it, like it's weird it's the 28th and not 29th, right? Because that almost seems like a copy paste, right? It seems very 19 days. Yeah, there's nothing significant. I would expect this to be February 29th. So that is one thing, right? Because why would you stop at not the end of the month? You stop a day before, unless this was done prior, and this is a leap year, right? So that it's weird. Anyways, heard ZK. Yeah, so I think zkSync learned, and Stocknet is absolute dog shit. So whatever. It will be great if zkSync also like Stocknet uses ZK token and ETH for gas. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. Patov, you read my mind. So I hope they took a snapshot within. Yeah, we don't know. Best guess, right? zkSync light last activities. What 809 days ago? Get on there right now. Just hey, if they take the snapshot in a second, go in there. If you want sort of transaction on zkSync Lite, Zag exchange. What the hell is okay? What is it doing? Zag exchange. Okay. So you just want to go here, and this is a sort of good protocol. This you can actually go on zkSync Lite and do it. And through this, it'll show you how to bridge to it too if you want to. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the chat for those who don't have it. Cool. How to interact with unique contract, low fees. Go trade for tokens. So you can go to like, I think it's like ZK Swap Finance or whatever. I made a video on that. You literally open up their protocol and they got like 20 tokens listed. I just went like swapped $1 for each of them. Bang, 20 different contracts. Not bad. Will Arbitrum do another airdrop? I don't think so. I know Optimism did one. I'd have to check and see what Arbitrum has in their document papers. If they do, I'm gonna get a massive one because I do a lot of transactions on Arbitrum. So hopefully no L2 snapshots after EIP. Farming will be a free for all. Yeah, I think that's also probably another good reason why that they want to do the snapshot here and not wait for that, because, or if they did it after, they may find a way to like kind of weight the activity, right? Because the ones before the protocol change would be probably more valuable. Carson asks, you have mentioned staking Matic a few times. What's the alpha on it? So Matic is a heavily, like, not, sorry, there's no dilution left. There's very little dilution. If you look at Matic's circulating supply versus sort of what total distribution looks like, they've pretty much done as much dilution as possible. They're about to do a full rebrand into the Pol network, right? POL. And there are protocols, because sort of what Polygon is doing is sort of like aggregating sort of base layer to sort of support a lot of these L2s for Ethereum. This is going to be much in the way of Celestia. I do plan on making a video on how to stake Matic and the process. In fact, I was going to do that today. That was, ironically, that was my video for the day until I saw all this stuff happen. But that's sort of my thought process. You know, will it pan out? Who knows? There is some cost because you have to stake, unfortunately, Matic on the Ethereum blockchain, which I think is really stupid. I had to bridge Matic over, lost $20 in Matic doing that, lost another $20 staking it. So, you know, I staked like 1,500 Matic, but you know, we'll see how this turns out. But I'm gonna make a video on that process. No snapshot. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense with all the thing. Yeah. So like I said, we don't know. There's a lot of reasons for yes or no. Definitively, we don't know. But the reason I made this video is it's a warning sign, right? Like, okay, this actually makes sense, and there are potential reasons for it. What did UBGA during AMA? Oh, like in for zkSync? I'm not sure actually, but I know you're saying I was 87% yesterday, I think, for zkSync. I honestly don't remember what I did. I think I just did a lot of like token transactions and Paymaster. Oh, you know what it could be? I had used a native bridge. Maybe that's what it was. I used a native bridge before the GWA went up, and I transferred like 1 Ethereum in and out. Maybe that could be it. I'm at 140K rank. That's awesome, Haitian. I just want to know what you did last night. Isn't that like a movie? I want to know what you did last summer, or I know what you did last summer. You got crypto. You know what you could do? So I are nobody. You can go on debank.com, and type in the wallet address, and it literally will tell you all of my transactions. So let me just bring this up here. You can go in here. So this is the wallet that I share with you guys. You can go to transactions, and you can literally go and say, okay, well, what did he do for zkSync? And it will literally show you what I did. Does that make sense? So you don't even have to ask me. You can go check. So that'll be useful, okay? Okay. So now, how to complete 100 unique contracts without signing in. So there are some things out there. I think tokens are the easiest way, swapping for tokens. I think going to ZK Flow and seeing all the protocols listed will help you too. So you go down here. Here's all the protocols in the ecosystem. So you want to go in there, you maybe do a swap, do a liquidity thing. All these things are contracts, right? Like deposit withdrawals, each of them are contracts, right? Getting whatever tokens. There's all this stuff here. So you can actually like get a ton just by going to ZK Flow. The link is in the description. I think it'll be next month because there's still one NFT raffle going on. There was the NFT that was claimable today. So that's the other thing. So guys, if you haven't done already, it's a hyper comic, right? You can go and collect your list, whatever it's called. Forgot the zk list. So I've gotten all of these things. I got I did all the claims for all this stuff. I claimed and I got zk list, and that could also be another thing that helped me with the airdrop. 809 days. Wow. Yeah. What's your favorite tokens to bridge on layer 0? Probably like USDC or ETH, and I'd probably just do it like, Optimism, Arbitrum, and stuff like that. But like it really depends, right? Like you want to build out a pathway for you that is not going to be costly, and one that's not going to just make it look like you're just doing a back and forth, right? Like a regular person would not be taking Ethereum, going from Arbitrum to Optimism, and just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like that looks super sus, right? And that's sort of why, like, I tell people, don't just do something. Like, don't ask yourself what a real person would do. If you were truly using this protocol normally, what would you do? And you just got to be a little more embellishing of what you do, right? So, okay, a little more embellishing, you have a little leeway, but if you just only do that transaction, the bots, like, their like system will pick up, oh, this guy just literally spent 50 transactions going back and forth the same way. And then it's like, okay, well, that's probably a bot, It's the same way, like, I remember I went to a nightclub once, and this dumb broad, she was like, you know how they like they let these like hot chicks like run the booths, right? But sometimes the dumbest people in the world. I wanted to get like a booth, and like I just started my MBA. We're going out partying with some friends. We're in Niagara Falls, so this is like the one of the like party areas in Canada. And I gave her like my credit card. At the time, my credit limit was, I think it was like 10K. She literally, and the bottle service was like $1,300, something ridiculous. Like, it was like 2 Grey Goose bottles maybe or something like that. Retail wise, that's $200, but all the markup, and you got like a table, right? She literally went, and she came back and told me my card got declined and said something rude like, if you can't afford bottle service, don't try to buy it. I'm like, what the? So then I called my bank, right? Like I got on, like, they have a 24-hour line. Turns out this dumbass went and just tapped my card, kept trying to put the transaction in. They thought it was a fraud because it was literally like $1,200 every 5 seconds. Go, 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 go. So they just shut the whole thing down. You know what I mean? So the same thing, like, there's automated systems that like will just track you when the stuff happens. So just be cognizant. If you use the same number, the same volume, the same like route every time, it's gonna look like this is highly sus, Mex C Thieves. Guys, I want you to know something. So Mex C actually reached out to me a long time ago. And a lot of these protocols, what they like to do is they 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 like to like try to offer partnerships with content creators, influencers, whatever, hoping that a lot of people will just be willing to take the money, right? Take the money and like sort of, I don't want to say not have ethics, but like I think it's pretty like I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do to like to basically like almost like monetize your following by like signing up for like ridiculous services that you don't believe in or anything else like that. I'm gonna see if I can find it here. Let's see if I have it. Here. So I'll just show you an example. Um, so basically this, and then like I just stopped responding. So here's an example. So this is like somebody who like emailed me in like April 12th and was like, hey, whatever, and like stuff. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I did some research, and I'm like, yo, I want nothing to do with this. And then when I found out they were scamming people, not like saying they were doing it always, but they had some shady stuff where they like confiscated people's accounts without saying anything. I was like, yo, I ain't about this life, not about this life. And maybe I'll show you one more thing, and just so you guys know, like this happens a lot. And not to say that everyone who sort of shares this with me is sort of kind of like a scuzzball or anything, but I'm also, like I said, I'm very like particular because my reputation is everything, and I would never jeopardize that for the world. So like people will offer me money for like random stuff. So like I had this company reach out to me. Once again, not putting them on blast because I don't know anything about them, but like like having some sort of trade DAO reach out to me saying, hey, we're a DEX. We'll give you USDT to sort of publish our video or a video on it. I'm like, yo, like earlier today, I'm like, sorry, thanks, but no thanks. I don't want your money. I don't want your NFT. I'm not gonna post, a video on my YouTube channel pretending like I like the service, because that's not cool. And I hate when influencers do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a group, we've got to be way harsher on content creators. Be like, hey, look, you know what you're getting into. I hate when people sort of just go, oh, I didn't know, right? Like I know they would scam people or whatever. Well, if you don't believe in the service, you should not be talking about it. Like the service I talk to you guys the most about, the top two things is Ledger. I don't get like anything pretty much from them, and Wallet Guard. I get nothing from them. But that's stuff I believe in. That's stuff I think is useful. Like Rabby Wallet too, very useful. I don't get anything, but I think it adds value to you guys, which is why I want to talk about it. And like you guys already helped me enough with engaging the content. I do not need to sort of accept $1,000 offer or $5,000 or whatever it is to sort of do a video trying to pretend like I like something when I don't. Not gonna happen. DeFi before March 13th? Oh, definitely. Yes, yes. So which video can you tell please to interact with more contracts? Here, I'm gonna give you a link. And by the way, guys, I gotta get going soon. I just realized I'm meeting with one of the higher ups at my work tomorrow, and I have to prepare for a meeting with them, and it's at like 7 a.m. It's currently 12:40. So if you could please go here, it's called checker.merkley. What I want you to do is I'd like you to, after you do that, put in this wallet address. So we'll just do it live so you guys see it. So this is what it looks like. We'll go here. We'll put this in here. Once you hit submit here, what I want you to do, because you'll see this here, I paid for this, right? But it only gets unlocked for my account because I paid for it. Literally, you go down here and it will show you every single zkSync transaction or thing you could do. And if you click on the link, it literally takes you to the thing. So I click on this, it takes me to whatever the thing is, and boom, I can do the transaction and get the credit. You see here, it tells me what I'm missing, but it gives me the link to go do it. So for you, like, obviously, like you have to pay to sort of get more insight as to where you are. But hey, maybe if you've done it or not. You can just literally go on these, click on the links, and get it. Okay, so that's what I'd recommend you do. Any word on MetaMask airdrop? No, nothing for Mask yet. Do you prefer to make one strong account? Yes. So I would do one strong account first, focus on getting that. If you have medium accounts, the strategy for your medium account is minimum one transaction on each protocol a month that you want to farm. And then you can go ham whenever you feel like it on the others. But make sure you have one account that you definitively are going to crush. Such transparency, respect. Yeah, of course, guys. Like I said, transparency is not a hard thing to ask. One of the things I think is super important is, we come and tell you stuff. I would, like, for example, I would hate to tell you guys to go to Windsor, tell you to sign up for the service, not tell you guys that I'm getting paid for it, and then be like, oh, yeah, guys, it's fantastic. Just so you guys know, I don't get paid for Windsor. I get 0 or whatever. But I told you guys to sort of look at it as a potential service because I think it's cool, right? And I think people who sort of say stuff, they should be held to sort of like very similar laws we have in social media, right? If it's an ad, say it's an ad. Don't just go on and pretend like, oh no, guys, I think this mint's going to be the next big thing. And because you guys trust me somewhat because of stuff I showed you, you end up like getting rug pulled or something. I would never want that for you guys. And guys, I showed you some of these things. You should see some of the video requests I get, and especially these like ton of these like NFT projects and stuff. Like it's just not worth it, and I'm not. One thing I do want to say is, I recognize I'm privileged. I'm in a fortunate position where I make a lot of money in my real life job. Like you guys know, I literally travel for work, like on the company dime. They put me up in hotels, right? Like this hotel is like, what is it, like 400 Swiss francs a night or whatever. You know what I mean? So like they put me up in really nice place. Like Swiss franc is like, I don't know, 1.3 Canadian, I think, 1.4 Canadian. I don't know. But they put me up in really nice spots, get paid very well. I never have to get into a spot where I need to sort of, question my integrity or my ethics and my values. I like to believe personally that I wouldn't do it regardless, but I've never been forced to. Do you get what I'm saying? And like I get it. Some people like, hey, they're struggling. They can't put the sort of next food on the table for themselves or their family. So obviously, like, hey, like they gotta like do what they gotta do, right? So like I do want to sort of call that out, right? So like, I don't want to pretend like, hey, just because like, I can do this, also because it's made it very easy for me. It sort of reminds me, I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones, but there's a very good scene with Aemon Targaryen and Jon Snow, and is like, it's easy to be honorable, like when it's easy to do. It's not easy when it's actually a cost to doing it, right? Very similar to that. Talking to Libertas Omnibus, are you referring to that Merkle sort of raffle? I think like there's like one or two up for grabs or something like that. Is that what you're referring to? I think. ZK Hyper's comic cost me $2 to claim how much per NFT. That something like that. I screwed up and paid a little more a few weeks ago. If you want to pay the cheapest amount, make sure you have Rabby wallet installed. That's rabby.io. For those of you who don't have the wallet, literally everyone I tell to sort of get this wallet goes, "Oh my god, I wish I had it sooner." This is like the premier EVM or Ethereum virtual machine wallet. Guys, it tells you exactly what's going in and out of your wallet on transactions, and it optimizes gas. It does a bit of security stuff for you. Like I said, even with all the security stuff we have in place, keep your eyes open. Love this wallet. It's fantastic. I still recommend you having MetaMask as well. I think they're both great. You can sort of load both together in the same account. I do that because I load my hardware wallet that way. And it makes it very, very easy. So I would check that out. It would also optimize the gas for you and tell you exactly what the right thing is. That behavior, like real person, doesn't work in competition with 5KK wallets. Yeah, well, the thing with Starknet is Starknet, like I don't really trust what they did. Like they did a lot of shady stuff, and they picked some arbitrary time points. And I'd be curious to know if they did it prior or before, like they saw the actual readout, right? Like because sometimes, right, like you can do the criteria, you filter out, and go, okay, here's who's getting rewarded. Oh, we don't like that. Okay, we're gonna reshuffle the criteria. Something was weird. Like, why would you reward devs only in a certain time period, but you remove the early cutoff? It was weird. Like they specifically picked stuff. For Parcel, you put funds in LP. That's correct. If you put in your trading account, by the way, it gets locked for a day and it doesn't settle out. So I just put funds in LP. It's like $1. You get 4 points per dollar per day, and you got maybe 30 days. It's a 30-day lockup period, but then after 30 days over, you can withdraw the LP at any time. I think it's good. Sinister Snapshot Taken. They would have you believe it has been taken. We don't know definitively, but from where's that post? Did I close it? Oh no. No. Oh my god. Okay, well, you gotta take me on my word that they basically yeah. So basically like they're saying that they did a snapshot in December/Jan. Then they sort of did another snapshot because this one was no longer valid anymore based on sort of they didn't give a reason, but I'm assuming because of the growth in the ecosystem. And they're saying the snapshot was taken between February 28th and February 9th, maybe February 28th because today or when they posted that, it was February 28th. We don't know. So what you should do, Sinister, is pretend like just keep that in mind and do a max of 4 transactions per month now on zkSync. One every week max. That's a good way to still keep farming, hitting a few more gates, but not getting hurt if the snapshot was taken already. The time before going ham was before this. Obviously, we've got to be agile and adapt. Nobody, thanks for tipping the transactions you like. No problem. Did I miss the snapshot talk? So much rumor that's in the month, or was it in Jan? So they're saying that the snapshot is in February sometime. I put a link to the tweet in the description of this video. You can check it out, or you can sort of rewind and watch it from the start. Once again, the speculation, we don't know. Amazing stuff. Any airdrop plays on Solana? Well, the thing is, so yeah, what do you mean? I talked about Solana like 2 days ago with Pyth. I believe in having, I have my Pyth staked. I have my JLP, right? That's earning me from the perpetuals. I have my BSOL, so like Soul Blaze, that's earning me like the Blaze token. That's with the Stake City validator, right? So that's going on. I've got Drift, so I'm in their market making vaults. I'm in Parcel. There's quite a bit of stuff. I'm not going to everything because once again, like I gotta be very focused. But that's sort of what I'm looking at for Soul right now. My bro, can you please make a guide on Linea? honestly, the only thing I would tell you for Linea is you should actually, you know what? I did a video on the Linea Park yesterday, because pretty much what you're going to do for Linea, right? It's the same stuff you're doing for zkSync, but really with a heavy skew toward gaining LXP. So make sure you watch the video I did yesterday. You'll see the big Linea logo on it. And I walked through each of the quests that came up. And by the way, one of the quests I was talking about yesterday got fixed. You can now take that pictorial thing and stake it. You couldn't do that yesterday. There was a bug. So you can get 4 out of 5 already, get those LXP. So get on that, get that. That's what's going to get you your airdrop. Watch the video for that, because I have made the video. Love the honesty. Yeah, not a problem. I think, I think everyone should do that. I'm a bit worried about these airdrop checker sites. Maybe they'll link multiple wallets. No, I'm not worried about it, because it's so easy for you to also, for me to go in and start putting other people's wallets and like setting them up too, right? So like there's also like, so what happened, right, is some people, they've, like a lot of the reasons why people don't like sharing their wallets is like, you can do like sort of like gas transactions, sending stuff over, trying to like make it seem like something's assignable when it's not. But honestly, like, the protocols will know, and this is also why I think this stuff is important with Gitcoin Passport. Sticking with Dune. Yeah, no, Dune's great. Dune, actually, just so you know, Dune is where a lot of these things get their information from. Can you still use Rabby at the same time? Yes. So with Rabby, Rabby has a toggle. So you be the blue or either brownish orange, and you select which one is active. And if you change it, all you gotta do is refresh the page, and it'll go. I typically keep Rabby as the active one, and only switch to MetaMask when it's a sort of chain that's new, that Rabby has not been sort of calibrated for yet. What I love about Rabby is you don't have to change networks. It does it automatically for you and everything else like that. It even whitelists addresses and sends you warnings like, oh, this protocol has been compromised 8 hours ago. Are you sure you want to use it? There's a high risk associated, whatever. It's great. Trust me, Haitian, if you use it, you're gonna be pissed that I didn't tell you to use it sooner. Okay. Yeah, so Varun, I saw your comment yesterday. I like it. Talk at the 10. I'm waiting for a couple more asks, and then I'm going to put a poll out and see what people think. So we'll see. Parcel have new point system from first of March and also more boosts. I think they did announce something. I haven't looked at it yet. I'll be honest. So we'll see. Thanks, man. Not a problem. Do you think LXP will be a 1-to-1? I think so, but like we don't know. We don't know. But I would expect it to be. It's soul bound. Is it safe? It is safe. Here's the thing. One thing I would tell you guys is you never know that if you have Trojans and stuff on your computer. I do not ever like type my seed phrase or anything like that. If there's a way to import it without typing it in, then go for it. That's also why I tell you guys, please invest in one of these things, like a ledger. By the way, if you're buying a ledger, buy it from the official site. I think I put the link to it in the description. I may have an affiliate code, whatever. If not, who cares? Just use it anyways. I think the the Ledger wallet. I've used a bunch of them. I've used I use Keystone, which is absolute trash. I use Trezor, trash. I've used Lattice, good but very limited. Lattice, if it worked for everything, I would use that first. But because Lattice is only on EVM, this thing works with Solana, it works with IBC, it works with EVM. This is my choice, and it's very flexible. You can travel with it, as you can tell. I have a little pouch here. See here, open this up. Literally put this in here, easy enough, right? I think it's fantastic, and I can't say enough good things. And it's the sort of peace of mind. You travel with it, and then when you have it here, you can literally import and connect without ever having to sort of risk your device's integrity. I can literally go and put this in every wallet I want to. It's pretty cool. Looking forward to hearing something on Athena farming. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. I'll probably do this when I get back to Canada. I'll be honest. Like, I'm working on one small screen. I'm so used to working on 3 screens, so I've been struggling. Not gonna lie, it's hard. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, bro. You've done mine minting. Yes. You mean minting, right? Hypercomics. Yeah. So I think I showed this earlier. Got it. Like, I can't do this with like see here. No. I have such a hard time looking at all these like small Here it is. Yeah, so I've gotten all of them. I got the 14 and I've registered for the ZK list, which came live today. One last thing I do want to call that before anything else is, I don't like seeing what's happening to CC2. As you guys know, CC2 did some, some stuff that wasn't cool, right? Like he basically told people to go through the Odos farming route, then basically reached out to the zkSync team and said, hey, FYI, people are doing this, don't count this volume. So it's like, why would you send people on a wild goose chase? And now he's getting death threats. So I think there's no reason to ever do this. Like, it's not cool. I mean, it is what it is. Like, and it's actually scary because they literally have his name and location. So, like, he's basically like, in fear and like he may stop posting. And obviously, people aren't perfect. Um, you know, what we've got to do is, we've really got to like protect our people, right? Like, some people are never going to be perfect. Like, I'm sure there'll be times where like I'll do something where you guys feel like, Brown Chat, you're better than this, right? Stuff like this happens, right? Uh, but yeah, it is, it is what it is. Like, I'd say no matter how much people make us upset, violence is never the answer, right? Everybody, like, I saw a really good quote. You know, all of us are living our life for the first time ever, right? So we're not going to be perfect. So we we've we've got to be there. Um, and as usual, we have somebody here, and I'm glad somebody spoke up here because profit pursuit. Let's just be honest here, and you know, for DGen, I said I don't mean it this way, but for profit pursuit, I'm going to be very clear with you. You can be telling me whatever the hell you want. If you are not smart enough to articulate why, if your thing is just going, duh, duh, it's the snapshot taken, duh, I'm not going to listen to you. That's just the reality of it. So it's not about not accepting it. I don't just accept random people's word on the internet who just have a random picture. So you give me some rationale as to why I should consider that instead of listening to a bunch of crap because I don't know you from a hole, right? Like literally, I don't know you from nothing. So why would I listen to you? So if you want to give me facts, then I will listen. I'm not closed-minded. I think people like you are closed-minded, and that is going to be one of your limiting factors in your life. I will always listen to every side of the conversation, but the conversations I don't want to listen to are just like, for example, a month ago, people come on on my videos and go, why are you talking about Ethereum? Ethereum's dead, man. Ethereum's dead. 2200 is dead. It's not going to go anywhere. Have you seen Ethereum? It's like 3500 now. Like, this is the thing. I don't listen to people. If people give me good rationale as to like, why they say what they say, I'm open to hearing it. But if you want to just say some stupidity like, yo, bro, it's taken. Thanks, man. Thank you so much for the insight. Thank you so much. Because you can always be right. It's so easy to be right once, right? You can literally like, it's a yes or no question. Has it been taken? Yes or no. Eventually, if you keep saying the snapshot is taken, you'll be right. And that's why they say about Michael Berry. Michael Berry has predicted, what was it, like 2 of the last 1,000, or like he's predicted 1,000 of the last 2 crashes. You know what I mean? So you really, really got to do better than that, dude. Because like this is also like not a way to sort of build up a community and sort of make friends. Like sort of the tone coming out of here, dude, like I have zero interest in listening to you. And honestly, if you sort of approach it a way of, hey, dude, like I think the snapshot's taken. Here's what I think. Sure, but for you to come up here and just go, guy, taken is taken is taken, and not really like when I ask the question, hey, can you give me some guidance of why you think that? I ain't gonna do. I'm not gonna listen. And the reason I'm making a sort of point of calling you out here is I don't want the people watching this video to sort of listen to stupid people like you. It's the reality of it. Like, if you want people to listen to you, give people facts. Give people facts. Let them make a decision. Same thing here, man. If you look over at what that guy posted, his post, literally, the first time, and I posted about it. It was the first time in all of this that I actually thought that where is it? Yeah, the first zkSync airdrop related post I've seen that actually is believable. However, only time will tell. I'm going to continue to farm until zkSync taps me on the shoulder. So that's the way I see it, and that's the way we're going to do it. And Profit Pursuit, I'm going to imagine because of this, you have a YouTube channel because you have the same logo in your name. Would be interested to see if you show your face to sort of, put your face next to the claims, right? It's very easy to do whatever you got to do. Chill, not too much on Trezor law. Yeah, just get a Harvard device. Harvard devices are great. Click on mining on the top. Mining on the top. Oh, is it active now? I clicked on that before and it said it was March. Is Oh no, I clicked on ZK Pass. What is mining? What? Let's try this again. Mining. Let's try that out. Very interesting. That might be some good alpha. Some good alpha. What is this? Play hypercomic? Today's quiz. Okay. I will look at this after. I was like, what is this? What about zero? Are you talking about like layer zero? We haven't heard anything. Just keep going. Just keep going, doing what you're doing. The first time we have something to sort of share that will change, just like with zkSync, I will make a video and let you guys know. zkSync, now my recommendation is, guys, max 4 transactions a month, split up every week, right? That's my recommendation, max for you guys. If you've already done a ton of farming, then just get the 1 transaction. And if you haven't sort of done the sort of basics, get coin password, get it, do your paymaster, do those paymaster transactions. I show you how to do that early in this video. Make sure you have some activity on the zkSync Lite. Focus on those as your transactions for the month, but don't go ham anymore. Now, the priority shifts until we hear any more to layer 0, Scroll, Linea, and others. Okay, Hyperlane, Polyhedra. Man, imagine having the profit pursuit and giving up on profit. Yeah, well, I think that's what it is, right? Don't associate with my man. No, I'm not, and like none of those people make me upset. It's just people who don't know anything, who just come up here and go, "Look, guy, I'm so right, man. Look, I'm so right." Yeah, okay. Um, I'm being realist, being farming zkSync. Well, maybe you could spell it properly if you have been. One thing I will share is I actually forgot I made this tweet. This is more of a tooting my own horn kind of tweet, so let me just do this one here. Here, November 20th, 2022. This is like I was DCing into Bitcoin, right? And I was like, every week I'm setting some Bitcoin aside. And by the way, you guys know it's like legit because there's no edits or anything. Because some people like what they do. So one thing you should know is some people will go in there, make a tweet, and then go back and edit it after. There's literally no edits here. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin on November 20th, I think it was like 16 or 17,000 US. So I'm almost at a 4x. You know what I mean? And this is obviously hard to buy when it's red and stuff. And I think Bitcoin was down like 20% that month. But this is the thing. This is the stuff that's so important. But whenever people reached out to me to ask me why I was buying them, and I told them why. I wasn't just like, hey guys, Bitcoin's gonna go up. Great. It can either go up or down 50%, right? And like Umar said, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. In fact, I actually said that earlier in the video when Degen was talking about it. Random people say things with certainty when reality. Exactly. And it's also easy to say that when they don't have their face on there. Whereas I put my face up here and like I'm not gonna sort of to do it all that. Immo body, you need to jump to Linea or base, not too late. Yeah, so he's right here. My recommendation is get your LXP. Base is kind of but your LXP is important. Get your scroll. Get your scroll before they make the Ethereum EIP upgrade. That'd be great. Thoughts on Monad? I have no thoughts. I don't know about it. Sorry. Okay, guys, it has been an hour. I hope you like this video. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy these kind of videos where we have a discussion with the community. I find them very helpful. I find that you guys seem to respond very well to them. I think I'm gonna keep doing this where I have sort of like these AMA or discussion type videos and these sort of just let me just go through a guide with you quickly kind of videos so that people who want to watch this stuff can get that information after. But with that all being said, I hope you liked the video. Share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.